Welcome back to our topics in management. I just finished a different class, and in the other class, I showed this, which I think is a core part of our class, and this, which I think is a core part of our class, and this, which is a core part of our class, and this is how you actually get the marks. But in here, Hanakto, can you explain to me your understanding of what is this red arrow?
Uh, that's like, even though this is a kind of class, I mean, the kind of lecture taken in the university, if you like stay silent or stay very passive or inactive, you would not be able to have a kind of great chance to get employed by the company. So for you to take the chance to be a like worker or something like to employed by the company, then you should be a kind of specialist or just expert, just like written over there. Like when you do some paper or any work, you should do that as a kind of specialist, wasn't it? Wasn't it something like that?
Yes, you're right. It's something like that. Arthur, can you explain your understanding? What do you think this red arrow means? What's the importance of that red arrow?
I think it's just the meaning of don't follow as a sheep, like it's written, to be different from people and to be
How
uh,
the
you
message?
have
Good. The message that I'm giving here is absolutely right. Don't follow a sheep. Absolutely, but it's telling you to do something. The
yeah,
red,
it's
the red triangle tells you to do something very specific. What should you use that red triangle to do?
that means that for having a job or uh, an internship or whatever we want, we should not only apply for the job, but develop term papers and all those things we have talked about during the semester to get into a company and directly more interesting for the company.
How do you get into the company?
It depends on how people can interact. There's LinkedIn. There's a lot of things. You can interact with employees. You can interact with CEOs, whatever you want.
Okay, specific, good. Gregor, I haven't seen you for a while. Welcome back to our class. Can you see this red arrow on my screen? This was designed, as Arthur just said, you're supposed to use class activities to get a job or get an internship. Do you remember, Gregoire, what specifically I said about this red arrow, what this red arrow purpose represents?
Back in first classes?
I talked about this almost every week.
Oh, yeah, more or less.
Okay, can you please answer then what it means?
Oh, yeah, you have to be the best at what you. Yeah, okay. You have to be the best at what in one subject, in one domain. Like these people is going, I mean, company and everything is going to be interested in about your job or what
Uh,
hiring you.
okay, good. Actually, thanks for telling me what you understand about this. Let me try to repeat more about what I was talking about. Ulugbek, you see this slide, right? What was the purpose of this slide? Because everything I'm talking about, actually, before it, Ulugbek, you can remind me. You're the next person to talk. I'm going to help you guys by talking about. You guys know that there's 40 more points for the final evaluation of the class. Those 40 points, they will be equivalent. You can either do a term paper and hand in a term paper. We're talking about that now. Or the same level of difficulty, the same style, there will be a final exam. And with the final exam, there will be 10 points for essay questions and 30 short answer questions. Every student every student in class, you must send the teaching team, Hua and I, to be editors of a Google document. You create a Google Drive document and share edit access with Hua and I. And you must show in Zoom your video is working and will show your face and where you are working. Let me repeat that. If you want to do the exam, you have to show you are able to have a video showing your face and where you're working. And you must have a microphone that's working. So LD and Emma and Yebin and Saad, Jungwoo, you guys that are not active and not showing your video, unfortunately, you will not be in the final exam. You can't do the final exam unless your video and microphone is working. Make sure that's clear for everybody. The biggest problem for this is no bathroom breaks. Make sure you go to the bathroom before the final exam. We'll talk about that a little bit later. If you want, if you are proactive and ask questions, I can show you here's some possible exam questions. Exam question 1, exam question possible number 2. Here's exam question number 3, number 4. Here are some questions that you could go through, but we were talking about this, right? And I believe I was talking to Ulugh about your understanding of this information. Is that right, Ulugh?
No, I think we are discussing another paper about articles.
About the articles?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I was going to ask you, you're right, thank you very much. Tell me, what were we teaching with this slide? Why is this important? And I'll give you a hint. It's related to this, of course. It's related to this, of course. It's related to this, and it's related to this. They're all connected. And your solution is to do this. Why? What is this?
It's a door which can open all opportunity for us.
I only heard you say this can open all opportunities for you. So what can open opportunities for you? Can you explain that?
This paper shows the details of article. What should be here?
I don't understand your answer. This probably will be an exam question. And based on your answer so far, you wouldn't get many marks. Vincent, would you like to try and get some exam marks for this? Explain the significance of this image for our class.
So here it's like some Scopus article, and we need to use like the same style and format for our own paper to be published, like with abstract, very a bit like specialist with a lot of information inside. And after we can you develop like evoluency, I think on Scopus. And we need to do like in the image at the middle of your screen, not like the left, I think, because the left is like a student one, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, the left side is a student and the right side, both of the right side are one Scopus paper, and the left side are, they're all a related student paper.
Voilà.
Okay, so alors what is your point?
The point is we can use like I say, the format, the style of the article, and do the same with the own subject.
Okay, good. That is the instruction. Can you now explain why?
Because it's the convention.
No, I don't really care about following convention. I am a very strange guy. In Korea and in France, probably you have many professors, especially in Korea. The professor, we don't, Yebin, you're you're a regular Korean lady. So I'm going to ask you a question. In Korea, you usually have a Korean professor telling you, I'm going to teach you this 1, 2, and 3. And you have to learn 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to give you an exam question about 1, 2, and 3. So you must memorize 1, 2, and 3. That
Yeah.
is the Korean way.
Mhm.
They, in our class, I give you this, right? I give you every week what our PPT is, what our PDF is, what the videos, the class videos, and the links to the details, the makeup classes. I give you these things in our class. Very different, very open. It's the Western way. It's the European way or the North American way, which is the opposite of the Korean way. And you may find it chaotic. So I'm trying to expose you to that difference. So I'm not trying to make you follow this. I say for our class, you should follow this, but the purpose of this is a little bit different. Why I say you should follow this style is if you follow this style, people will think you are more of a genius, or they will think you are more of a geek, or they will think you are more of a specialist, even if you don't know. I think Gregoire and what was it, Ulugbeck or Arthur, you were saying you have to be the best in what you're doing. Well, if you are the best, great. But I'm not requiring you to be the best. I'm teaching you tricks. I'm teaching you research ways to help you be more successful. If you follow the method that the most successful use and the most brilliant use, like this, you will be associated with being brilliant. So copy this style, right? But in this paper, what I was saying is surround yourself with the best and try to learn from surrounding yourself with the best. So if this is a Scopus environment, a Scopus research project, there are millions of Scopus articles. You can find one that matches your love, matches your interest. Follow the style, the Scopus style of a topic you love and customize it. So this is a Scopus article talking about marketing globally, specifically in Europe. And so the students focused and zoomed in, said, marketing globally is this way, but in Korea, you need special adaptations. And when you're doing it specifically for L'Oreal Cosmetics, you need these adaptations. So the students followed the globally respected style, and they copied some of the information inside here, so they appear to be global experts. So when they share this, where is it here? When they share these articles that are $50 each with the company, then the company executive, when you see your PPT, or especially if they see your paper, they will think you are more of a specialist. You don't have to be an expert, but you should at least appear to be an expert. Does that make sense? Arthur, you were saying you have to be the best? So you don't
No,
have...
that wasn't me.
Okay, me bad.
It was me.
Oh, Arthur, sorry. Sorry, Gregoire? Well, anyway, one of you guys, yes, you said it. You don't have to be the best, but you should at least appear to be the best. It will make it easier for you to be more successful. And so, yes, we were talking about that. And over here, what I'm talking about is if you develop a paper like this, and that paper actually is here it is. So following this style, this is what the geniuses or the scientists usually use. If you follow their style, people will think you are a scientist. And then the students did this paper. It looks very specific. When you guys hand in your paper, if you're working in groups, the person that wrote this part can highlight their part and the person that did a different part, highlight your part, a different part. So Yebin, you're working with, or you were working with Hyenak Do. So maybe you need to highlight your part blue, and Hyenak Do can highlight his part yellow, and other guys can highlight their areas pink, something like that. So we can identify what each person wrote on. And then there's the literature review or the background literature. Hopefully you don't have these type of problems. That's why Gregoire, Ulugbek, Laura, Gulkano, Jungwoo, Emma, Elodie, for the remainder of our session, for the remainder of our class, if your video is not working, you're probably not going to stay in the class, because I need to make sure your video can work for the whole period of an exam. So keep your video on. Otherwise, Jungwoo, you will obviously, if you're not going to do the exam, you just need to hand in your final paper. If you're going to only hand in your final paper like this, that's okay. Unfortunately, this isn't working too well. This should be better. So here is the final student paper. It obviously looks very serious, especially this part showing research from many different researchers on an area. This is very, very smart to do. And then you have to do the proper referencing. And then at the end, you're finished here. This is in alphabetical order. What you do not have to do, but if you do show a little bit of information about a grant application, you can get bonus points for this. These students did a grant application in addition to this, and they were able to get an internship with this and show the journal article that you're replicating. These students replicated this, and a lot of this is the exact same thing, especially this chart here is almost the exact same thing as the student's paper, except the student's paper just added 6 more references to this. So if you do something like this, this would be very great. So we've already talked about this. I've gone through the idea of the paper, how you have to do the paper should be pretty clear. The idea of the final exam, it's the same value. It's 40 points. 10 points will be essay questions. For example, applying something from class to your future. And 30 questions will be similar to this. Question number 1, explain what are the most reliable. Can you guys explain to me, in this sheet that I have given you, this sheet, this is the question is based on this. What are 5 references you could use, and list them in order from most reliable to least reliable? Can one of you answer that possible exam question? Emma, I don't hear from you very often. Would you like to first of all, tell Jungwoo that he's probably going to be removed from the class, and Elodie is going to be removed, and maybe Laura may be removed from the class, just so they understand for the final exam, you need to show the video works. The video has to keep working for the full term for an exam. Laura, good luck working on that. Otherwise, you need to work on your paper. Otherwise, Emma, can you answer what are 5 sources of references and list them in order of highest reliability to lowest reliability?
I don't understand the question.
Can you list to me 5 popular sources of references that we talk about in class all the time, and identify what is the most reliable first, and then what is a little bit less reliable second, and what is a little bit less reliable third, and less reliable fourth, and the least reliable, lowest reliability fifth?
I don't know.
I think I have some if you want.
Great, thank you. Seriously, for Emma and everyone in class, that will be an exam question. So make sure you understand the details. And even if you don't want to do the exam, if you're going to hand in a report, you have to understand this. Otherwise, your paper will absolutely fail. If you don't understand this question, your paper will fail. And just this question, even though it's a simple question, only worth a few marks, you have to understand it. Go ahead, Elodie.
So I think you gave some reliable articles websites. There was SCI Major, Scopus, Academy of Management, Forbes, Fortune, or Harvard. That's the website I'm using for looking for reliable articles.
Okay. Yes, those are the most. You listed the two most remote, the two most reliable. But the question is, can you list 5 in order?
Oh, in order?
Yes. And don't forget, I've also asked for what is the least reliable, what is the shittiest, least reliable source of reference material you could use.
Wikipedia, maybe?
Okay, so now you need to put them in order. Highest reliability, and the answer again is here.
Okay.
This is the answer. So I'm asking you to tell me what this says.
Can
I answer?
Sure, if whoever can answer it, try.
I feel like it's D, starting with Scopus, CNN, and WOC, and then the last one is Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scopus is most reliable, then CNN is the next most reliable, then the Web of Science or SSCI or Web of Science, Social Science Cited Index. All of these are they're all the exact same thing. So you're saying they're not as reliable as CNN. And then a hint here, the exam question has a mistake here. Scopus written here and Scopus written here. You're saying Scopus is the most reliable? Okay.
The CNN is most reliable, I guess.
Okay. Anybody else? Hyanakdo, welcome back to the group. You disappeared for a while. Can you try to answer the question?
I was in the group.
We're waiting for you, Hyanakdo, to answer this question.
Can you briefly tell me the question again?
What about you, Vincent? Can you try?
I think it's the A, because the first one is Web of Science and Scopus with the second one. And
right, so
the economist and university website, government website, company website, CNN and Facebook. I think it's the first one, A.
Okay. Zarnigar, I think she was just telling you that CNN was the most reliable. What is your comment to her?
Like we told at the beginning of the semester, you told us like Web of Science and Scopus was the most reliable. So I just keep the information in my head. And
but okay, but she says the opposite. So am I smoking drugs or is she smoking drugs?
She can smoking drugs if you want. I don't know.
Maybe. Yebin, do you have any comment? Who do you believe, Vincent or Zarnigar?
Vincent answered A.
Vincent said A and Zarnigar said D.
D.
What do you think is the answer?
Wait, Scopus and Web of Science and B.
B. We keep going through A, B, C, D. Anyway, let's go for a C. Let's go for a E. The answer, just to help save time, the answer is A. Thank you very much, Vincent. The answer is A. Zarnigar, stop smoking drugs.
Okay.
Not reliable. Oh my God, there's almost no news sources that are very reliable. Almost all news sources, CNN or BBC. I think Malik talked about this, and maybe Ulugh talked about this about 4 weeks ago, saying BBC was very reliable. Absolutely not. Gregoire, do you have any comments about what's the difference between news media versus all of this? What is the difference here?
All of this.
Why
Yeah.
why is CNN or BBC or almost any news media not very reliable?
Because like it's just like for sensation. Like it's not they just want to provide information for getting some audience. Like it's not really reliable. They're not searching for the truth, but all of this maybe like
Okay, so what we were talking about here, this presentation, where we were teaching about fake news, this idea of the more shocking information you have, the more followers you will have. And the more shocking information you have, even if it's fake, then the more advertising money you can get. And the richer, the more successful you get. So news media will provide shocking information. Sometimes it might not be true. Sometimes they're only telling you part of the story. Maybe the story has 10 different parts and they're only telling you one part that's very shocking and very interesting. Maybe it's true, but they're not telling you the 9 boring parts of the story that are also true. Does that make sense, Gregoire?
yes, of course, definitely.
Okay, so yes. The answer for everybody, let's go up to this again. I'm sorry, I thought I talked about it so much, I thought everybody understood it. So for your final papers, anybody in our class and in any class, you will do papers in almost any class. I highly suggest don't just finish the paper at the end of the year and get a mark from the professor and then finish it. Try to use the paper to interact with a local company. And for example, in the class, you should be researching a lot of valuable material. Like I say Scopus a lot because it's the easiest to check and the easiest to search. And you did a PPT at midterm showing that information. I highly suggest put this into a written form, an essay form, and you can publish it and give it to a company. You don't have to worry about the marks for our class if you don't want. But if you try to make it look like this, you will look good and you will look better if you understand what is good and bad. So this red area is very important. But even before we go to the red area, everything on this slide you should reference. The more references you have, the better, period. So reference everything. You can't say only reference this and don't reference that. Anybody that tells you don't reference this other stuff is an idiot. You should reference lots. And so the top is the most reliable. And so that is Web of Science. So Web of Science, SSCI, the Social Science Citation Index, all of these, they're the exact same thing. They are the best, but they are a select group of snob business researchers. Scopus is the same. All of this is for Scopus, but Scopus is very open. They work with 30,000 business magazines, so they're very open, and there's a lot more information. They're almost the same, just this is pickier. So this is higher quality. This is also good, but open. And all of these are all inside both Scopus and Web of Science. These are the best of the best. So that's what we're talking about here. Forbes, Fortune, and Harvard Business Review. Maybe I will ask a question about this. Gregoire, what is the difference or the significance of Forbes, Fortune, and Harvard Business Review. If you remember, last week we talked about CEO pay, and I showed you Elon Musk's pay. We said was $11 billion. Who was it? Somebody in class told me it was actually $56 billion in 2021. Was it somebody in this class told me that?
Vincent.
So
It's what I checked yesterday, but maybe it changed. I don't know.
Okay, if you can send me that reference, that would be good. I haven't found.
It's not really, a very reliable references. I
Oh,
just put on Google the salary of Elon Musk. It was the first one who popped.
Okay, so here is a Google search. I've never heard of this company. They say these people, and these are the salaries. What this guy's making 276 million. Anyway, I don't know if this is reliable. Here is another source talking about details, but we talked first of all about Fortune, and we talked in Fortune about these guys being the highest paid CEOs. And after I talked about Fortune, then I talked about Forbes. Why did I talk about them? Why did I list them? Because Fortune is listed in this Scopus. This is basically the Scopus journal ranking information. If you click on Fortune, it will list it here, and it shows you this is a Q4 or a Q3 journal. It's famous for business, international management, accounting, economics, econometrics. It shows you how many people reference this. So anyway, it is famous. And Forbes is the same. Harvard Business Review is the same. But what is the problem with this? Hyanakdu, do you remember what is the problem with Forbes, Fortune?
Je réponds à Google Kay en disant qu'on préfère faire l'examen et qu'on n'a pas envie de faire le papier.
I'm going to have to mute you, Vincent. Thanks.
Sorry.
Hyanakdu, can you identify what is the problem with Forbes, Fortune, and Harvard Business Review? What does this article show? What is the problem with this article? Specifically, how does it end? The end of the article, it ends right here. The author's name is here, and that's it. Fortune, same thing. This is the article, and it ends here. These are different stories. What is a problem?
We only know the name of the author, so maybe you're not. We don't know whether they are in the very reliable association or not.
No, you know the. It is in the Fortune Association. So Fortune is respected, and Forbes is respected. So that's good. And this tells you there's more information about him. That's a good guess, but it's not it. Laura, do you understand why these sources are different and they're not as good as these? The answer is on this page.
Can I answer, Professor?
Yes, go ahead. Anybody that has an answer?
Yeah, they didn't do the referencing.
Right. If you don't do referencing properly, people can't take you seriously. So these articles here, they end here with no references. Forbes, no reference. Fortune, no reference. Harvard Business Review, no references. That's why real scientists laugh at them. And that's why you, for your paper and an exam question, I will ask you how to reference properly. And maybe you will be assigned a question to show you know how to reference properly. And you must know it's the author first, then the year the author wrote it, the title of the story, the title of the journal magazine, and then the accessed date that you found it. And what is DOI? Emma, do you understand? What is DOI?
Can I answer again?
Sure. That's another thing. In the basic, so make sure this is talking about the papers, more comments about the papers you guys already did, evaluations I can share. Where is it here? Yes. Before you answer the questions, Zarnigo, Emma, can you read this?
You cannot leave during exam. If you leave or if you do not immediately reply to Mike or chat, exam is done.
Right. Understand? Make sure you're focused on the exam. If you're focused on other things, then you can't get any more marks with the class. Go ahead, Zarnigar, you can answer the question. I'm going to remove Jungwoo from the group to help him realize what
he sent me a message saying that he's all the way home and he will turn on the camera when he gets there. So
okay, he's definitely at home. He's got the camera on now. It's amazing when I tell people.
So sorry, Professor.
Do you understand what's going to happen if, can you read this line above here, Jungwoo? And after you finish reading this, Zarnigar can tell us the answer. Jungwoo, we're waiting for
sorry,
you.
But I think. Sorry, but may I connect it by computer again? It's cell phone right now, so I cannot see it clearly.
Sure. Gulkano, are you able to read this?
I will try. Which one, Professor?
What I have highlighted.
Every student must use Google document. You create a Google Drive doc and share edit access with teaching team with Zoom with video showing face, keyboard, and use mic. No bathroom breaks. You cannot leave during exam. If you leave or if you do not immediately reply to mic or chat, exam is done.
Great, thank you. And that's one of the main things that hopefully this is matching you guys as millennial generation and Generation Z. One of the characteristics of Generation Z is it's always online. Everything is plugged in online. So Zarnigar, can you tell us your answer?
Yeah, so DOI is basically a secret code for the website. It is a short form and it will lead to the article itself. So it's the best way for referencing for the long articles.
Right, it's the exact same thing as the website. It's just usually short, sweet, and beautiful, right? And so since we are the millennials or Generation Z living online, you're getting all of your information online. Every single one of your references should have some online link to it or the DOI. And so we have had some students, where is it here? Here is a presentation from students. This could be an exam question. What is the issue with this referencing presentation? What is the problem? Can you find what is the problem and explain what is the problem with these references?
The link is too long.
Yeah, I wanted to say the same thing.
Having a long link, it's ugly, but I can't reject it just because it's ugly.
Okay.
If you give a DOI, that's better. So that's part. I would give you maybe 20% or 30% of the mark for this exam question. I would give you 20 or 30%, but you're missing the most important part.
We got the title of the article, but not the name of the paper. No?
The title of the article is here. This is
Yeah.
this is the name of the paper.
Yeah, but we don't have the name of where it's published.
What about this? What about
Oh,
this?
okay.
Mr.
Oh, Vincent, come on. I thought you were good at arguing with me. I want you to argue with me. Come on, keep going. Who else?
I
Laura?
went back to sleep.
Teacher?
Yes,
Isn't
go ahead.
it like the title and the name has to be in another police? Like it has to be written in, I don't know how to say it in English, but the article, like that you have to be like it has to be more easier to recognize who is the person who write it, and the title has to be underlined.
No. So you're saying it should be something like anyway, you're saying it should be beautiful or a different style. No. Some referencing styles may require that, but APA does not. Gregoire, go ahead. What's your guess?
Maybe this reference doesn't have any, I mean, it is not linked where it is like it doesn't show where it is used in the paper. Like you see a reference, but you don't know where it is in the paper. I mean, it's just reference, and you don't know where it was used.
Well, here's the link to it. If we
no, from the presentation, for example, you present the thing and you have information.
So if we try this, we need to log in, and we don't get it. It doesn't work. So we have a link here, but okay, this link isn't working for us. So do you understand who? Malik, do you understand what Gregoire do you understand what he just said? He said you don't know where this is used. Isn't he talking about this?
No, I think you don't understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
These references have been used inside of the paper, but you doesn't know.
The paper is this article?
No. Like the paper, and this is the reference of the paper. Like so, it gives information.
Okay, if we maybe I've been studying so long. I apologize, Gregoire. I am a geek. I am a scientist geek. So what I've highlighted here, it is the paper. It is the article. That's the name of the article. That's the name.
What we want to say to Gregoire, it's all the references he used, but we can't see where he used the people use it in his own paper.
We can't see where the paper. We can't see where the paper is used.
Yeah, you see, like I also understand.
Yeah, he means he put the reference, but the thing that is given in the reference or in the web page is not used in the presentation, the info.
Oh, okay. So no, on this page, you don't have to show that. Earlier on this page, you should show that. You should have in text here. You should have in text here. Yes. So that's nice that you know that. Is that what you're talking about, Gregoire?
Yes, exactly.
Great. It's nice that you are aware of that, but that's not the answer. The question,
I guess I know the answer.
On this page, there is a problem. What is the problem with this page references? Go ahead, Zarnigar.
Yeah, I guess he copied it from the internet. You know, the article itself and the website.
I'm just going to tell you guys.
Okay.
Every reference so far we have said the author's name, good. We said the year that it was written, that's good. We said the article title or the title of the paper, it's the same thing, that's good. But they forgot to tell us this. They didn't say the title of the journal or the title of the magazine. Scopus is not the name of a magazine.
It's what I said at the beginning, sir.
No, that's not what you said.
Yeah, I said that. I said we know the title of the article, but not where it's published. And you told me, yeah, it's Scopus, and I don't talk about that. I talk about the paper.
Oh yeah, he said that. He mentioned that.
We're all here.
I'm right, guys. Really, no.
You would not get the correct mark because
Oh.
this is showing where he got it. But the only problem is they confused Scopus. This person thinks Scopus is the name of a journal, but Scopus is not the name of a journal. And so it's saying volume number, it even says the page number, so it definitely says where he got it, but he's missing the name of the journal or the name of the magazine. And so I apologize if I'm prejudiced, Vincent, but the word that I was looking for to give the marks is the journal name or magazine name. So this was missing. If you said journal or magazine, that would get you full points. The fact, what was the other one that you said? You also said that you gave the website, which was long and ugly, fine. I think you guys said something else that I didn't really.
Yeah, it's me because yesterday you told me about the DOI, so I think it was
Right.
that at the beginning.
Right. If you had DOI, that would be better. Yes. But because they did the or, they gave the ugly one, which is okay. It's not as beautiful, but I can't punish you for being beautiful. Oh, somebody said it has to be something. Who is it? Was it Julie? You said it has to be like this, or has to be like this, or has to be something like this. Is that what you were saying? Looks like Julie and
I think it was Laura, but I think
all right,
can also.
she left, right? So that what I just changed and modified, that is not important. Any other questions about the final exam possibilities, or is there anybody that is just interested in doing the paper alone? Anybody interested in seeing these exam possible questions, or would you like me to continue teaching about the millennial generation? Going once, twice, 3 times. I guess I will go back and start teaching more about the millennial generation. Seriously, I showed you exam questions and you're not interested in seeing those details.
You can show some more questions.
Yevin, I love how you are able to be flexible with your neck, but it's much better if you are more proactive. Please, you guys, the first thing I want to show is, where is it here? Yevin, can you read this section?
Students can submit 75 possible exam questions and answers.
Right. So after you make your Google Drive document, you can submit possible questions that you think are interesting. And we will have a list of many different, I will go up to 75 good possible questions. And based on those 75, I will randomly assign you 30, and Hyanakdo will get a different 30, and Zarnagar will get a different 30, Falam Malik will get a different 30, something like that. Is that understood?
Yeah. Can I ask a question, please?
Can I say no?
No, you can't.
Of course you can.
So you're basically saying that we have to submit some question with some answer. So basically we're creating the examination?
No, you have the option to do that. I will be able to create the exam. And I already have created, as you can see, several questions. What I am trying to do is help satisfy students. Several students in the past have had no problem creating a research essay with far more than 10 Scopus or Web of Science references, and they've researched and interviewed and surveyed the companies and stuff. But I have surveyed some of the students in our classes, and I've heard some students think it's a little bit hard. So I'm trying to make the class easier to keep you guys happy. And so rather than just me giving you exam questions, I'm giving you the option, if you go through, and since you have all given some of the weekly topics, in your weekly presentation, you should know some questions that you have already created. So you could assign those questions super easy.